Hello, and welcome to the one and only Pop Culture Junkie podcast. I'm Olivia.
And I'm Shauna.
And you're deep in our world now. But before we expand on that, let's take a brief detour and talk about our Patreon. Yes, we have one, and you can choose to express just how much you like us. At the You Like Us level of $1 a month, we'll give you a special shout out on an episode of the show. And at the You Really Like Us level, you'll get access. Access to...
Sorry, I'm just doing the background so it sounds for you. Make it a little juicier, you know. You're doing amazing.
At the You Really Like Us level of $5 a month, you'll get access to our uncensored video version of the podcast up to a week early, allowing you to feel superior to everyone else out there. I mean, you probably already do, but
you should.
You know, now you have a reason.
Absolutely.
And for this episode, we're talking the history, the wild lore, how we play, what's next, and even that mysterious upcoming Sims movie. Buckle up because we're about to get pixelated. So I want to rewind a minute. We're here today to talk about The Sims.
The greatest video game of all time.
Yes, the best 100%. Game of all time.
Yes.
The Sims dropped in the 2000s, created by Will Wright. It started as Sim City, which we all know and love, which was really ultimately inspired by architecture, urban planning, murdering people on a roller coaster.
So that's the only thing I remember about Sim City is I think playing it in like the computer lab in school and just murdering people on a roller coaster.
Mass murder via roller coaster.
Is that the same thing as Roller Coaster Tycoon, or are those two different games?
I think they were like somewhat like the expansion packs of Sims that we have today. But I think it was it was like so Sim City, and then you had all of these offshoots. I always think about how you were just like continuously cleaning up vomit.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I was too busy murdering people.
Literally, yeah. You were like, I wasn't cleaning up the vomit. They were living with it.
Let them stew in their own juices. They're gonna die anyway.
Yeah, it's like they weren't really living with it. They were dying with it. But ultimately, The Sims became one of the best-selling PC franchises ever. We've had tons of Sims games. We started with The Sims 1. Today, we're on Sims 4 and endless expansion packs. We have Hot Date, Making Magic, Pets, University, Get Famous. There's, like Fairylands now. It's honestly anything and everything you can dream of.
There's kind of like a Harry Potter one. I think a Star Wars one. I have the seasons, which I really like because then it actually snows and gets hot and there's holidays and all of these little like stuff packs you can buy too. So there's a gothic stuff pack, an emo stuff pack that you can add to like their furniture and their outfits. This game has taken so much of my money, you guys.
And, all of these versions get more and more complex. Like you start with basic needs and furniture to full on multitasking, emotions, lifestyles.
Yes.
More popular now are these mods as well. And it's actually not something you can buy, but it's things you can find on like Reddit and the internet where you can actually alter the code of your game and change it, where you can do delinquent things. Shauna actually taught me about this. One of the more popular ones is Wicked Whims.
You didn't know about Wicked Whims?
No.
Oh my God. Okay, that's my favorite one. You download Wicked Whims, and honestly, I love playing with the mods, but sometimes you spend more time. You spend more time fixing your mods. So I sit down. I'm like, I'm going to play The Sims, and anytime there's an update, you have to reinstall all of your mods. So it takes like 45 minutes, and then finally at that point, I'm just like, fuck this. I don't want to play anymore. But Wicked Whims, instead of doing woohoo, your Sims actually have intercourse.
There's no blurring here.
There's no blurring. They are nude. There are lots of different positions. You can have multiple partners at once. They can do it in different places. You can put on how shy your Sims are with the Wicked Whims, or like how I don't know if they're going to do it in public. And at one point I had that like totally turned off. And my Sims went on a date to the McDonald's and were just like going at it in the middle of the McDonald's. And then someone else jumped in and I was just like, oh my God, you guys stop.
Orgy party at McDonald's, you know?
Just vile, just on that floor. It's just too sticky. But yes, I do love my Wicked Whims. There's also extreme violence, where your Sims can all like murder each other violently and there's blood and all that. And then basemental drugs. So you can have your Sims use... Pop Culture Junkie podcast does not condone illicit drug use. Okay.
We do.
Unless... to deal
if you're
with
over the age of 18
horrors.
and...
There you go.
You know. There you go. Yeah. Yep. 21 for alcohol, though.
It's like, what's the legal age to do a lot of cocaine? Because that's what my Sims are doing. They're growing a ton of weed, just railing lines. They're all coke dealers. But then if you deal drugs in public, the cops can come and arrest you. And you have to spend the night in jail. And then they...
Just one?
Yeah, one cop will just walk up to you and be like, you're under arrest for drugs. And you're like, oh, man.
I like how the people who created the mods were like, you know what? We need some consequences one day.
Yeah,
one day.
You spend one day, but then they clear out your stash. So they take all of your drugs. So that kind of sucks. And then you have to go to court. I don't know. It's kind of in depth. So
okay, drugs are bad, even drugs in the Sims.
Okay. But yes, I love my mods. I love making Olivia naked in the mods.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Who doesn't? In real life and in the Sim universe. And The Sims has ultimately captured so much of people's attention since the 2000s. In 2014, we got The Sims 4, which is still kicking with us. One of the things that EA Games changed is they actually made The Sims 4 free. And the way that they make money now is through those expansion packs. Mm-hmm. And if you are still a Sims player in 2025, you are bought in. You're buying those expansion packs. You really want it.
I am.
And so they use this strategy of making The Sims free and they get you hooked, you know, just like that drug. They ultimately really keep you coming back for more. And most of us know The Sims as us playing it, creating our own characters, designing our own homes. But The Sims itself actually has some crazy lore within it and different families, different players that whenever you join the game, they will exist within Sim City, or whenever you do join The Sims, you'll see these existing characters. And what we wanted to do today is dive into those iconic Sims that we've seen throughout all the different versions.
Don Lothario looking at you, baby.
Yeah,
sexy guy.
Shauna's, you know, fantasized about him for sure.
I have.
And
it's good looking guy.
Some of them have persisted through many versions of the game. Some of them have changed. And so we're going to get started and dive into the different families that we meet within The Sims. Because just like your neighborhood, there's some juicy goss happening.
There is juicy, hot goss. So first we have the Goth family. They are the crown jewel of The Sims drama. Mortimer, Bella, Cassandra, and Alexander Goth. So they are the most iconic and mysterious family in the Sims universe. They've appeared in every single Sims game, and each version tells a slightly different story about them. So in The Sims 1, the Goths are very wealthy and spooky, kind of giving like Addams Family vibes to me.
They have the graves in their backyard with ghosts, right?
Yes, okay, I think so. I played Sims 1. I didn't play 2 or 3. So I played 1 back in the day and I play 4 now.
Fake fan.
Yes, I know. I couldn't afford it. But now I can because, you know,
now it's
adult money and it's free. In Sims 1, the Goths are wealthy and spooky. Bella is alive and well. In Sims 2, things get a little weird and Bella is missing. She vanishes under suspicious circumstances and no one knows where she is. You can find her in Strange Town, but she has no memory of the Goths or being part of the family. So at this point, it's heavily implied that she was abducted by aliens, and her last known location is at the Caliente sisters' house, who have those alien connections that we'll get to in a minute. Mortimer is now older in Sims 4 and trying to move on. Cassandra is engaged to Don Lothario, little playboy. Daddy. We'll see how that goes. And Alexander's just a kid. He's just a little goth kid. So the fan theory about the goth family, again, is that Bella was abducted by aliens, but it was because she was getting too close to the truth behind the Calientes and their alien bloodline. So they took her over to silence her. And I love this. And I love that the last names in this are so on the nose. It's so funny. Like, my favorite that we'll get to is the Landgrab family. Like, it's just so on the nose, and I love it so much. But yes, I love the goths. I think they're still alive in my game. I had aging turned on for a while, except for my households didn't age. But then that got kind of sad. Bella is alive in my game, but she's just elderly. That's it. She's elderly. So then I ended up turning it off for everyone because I didn't want everyone else to get old and die. And
you're like, I can't keep up with all these new people coming in, you know?
Literally. Oh, there's so many new townies in my game now because I think the OG characters have all kind of gotten old and died, unfortunately. But like their ghosts are just kind of floating around. Malcolm Landgrab's ghost floats around my town, and that man screws anything that moves. That man's
horny
ghost.
ghost.
Oh, he's a horny ghost.
He's a horny little ghost.
Yeah, horny little ghost.
And next we have the Caliente sisters, who are really wrapped up within the goth family. Most people refer to them as gold diggers with alien DNA. Mm-hmm. And it is Nina and Dina Caliente. They are closest to Caliente. They are closest to Don Lothario, Mortimer Goth, and Bella Goth. So Nina and Dina are twins, but fans have always kind of called out that they don't actually look alike. And most people speculate because they are half aliens. Now stick with me. In The Sims 2.
I'm here with you, baby. I'm here with you.
In The Sims 2, they live with Don Lothario and are trying to seduce Mortimer Goth, who is a newly widowed older man. Mm. And in The Sims 2, part of the game that you have to like play the main characters, like the Sims created characters to get to, and it is called Strange Town. And when you go there, like there is a lot of like alien things happening. And so that's really why they think that Bella was abducted by aliens. Like I think if you go to Strange Town, you actually can meet an alien, and there's flying saucers and things like that.
And it does say that Bella was in Strange Town, but she doesn't remember her family. What, Bella and Mortimer are married to each other, right?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. So yes, he is a widow, or he thinks he's a widow in Sims 2 because his wife is missing.
Which is Bella, who's in Strange Town. Dina has possibly already married and buried a rich husband before.
Who has?
We love a black widow.
So many of my Sims have just... I'll create a man just for him to die. Just for him to die.
And one thing that we didn't necessarily mention about the Goth family is they are rich. Like when you go into the game, you always want to play the Goth family because they have like this mansion and everyone else has like a middle class family home.
Unless you're the Landgrabs.
Yes, yeah. They are the Goths 2.0. And so ultimately, you know, Dina and Nina are really these kind of like gold diggers, like I said at the beginning. And they are seen as these nefarious women who helped get Bella Goth got and ultimately are part of the... Goth. Ultimately are part of the plan on the night that she disappeared. And so the Caliente, like the fan theory around them is that the Calientes were sent by aliens to infiltrate the Sim society.
Obviously.
Dina's pursuit of Mortimer was to secure the Goth family wealth for whatever alien plan is underway. And
why do aliens need money?
World domination, you know?
I mean, I guess. I'm just thinking back to V, our last episode that you should check out. And the aliens wanted more like resources. I don't know. Like, what does an alien need with currency? What does an alien need with Simleons. Isn't that what their money's called? Simleons?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, currency would get you things. And then things are like supplies, I guess. But
materialistic aliens.
Yes. As Scarface would say, first you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the girl. So maybe they're trying to make alien babies like they did with the Caliente sisters.
So they want to be rich so that they can be like handsome and wantable by sim ladies to make sim babies to infiltrate Simciety. It goes all the way to the top. All the way to the top. We are back, and we are to my favorite character and favorite townie, Don Lothario, or as Olivia called him, the ultimate fuckboy. So Don Lothario's key traits are hot, shirtless, and commitment phobic, kind of like my college ex-boyfriend. Bononch. He is engaged to Cassandra Goth, involved with Nina, Dina, and Bella. So Don Lothario is the messy king of Sims 2. He's got 4 romantic relationships going at once, unless you make him have relationships with your characters that you create, which he always wants to show up and do because he's Don Lothario. He's engaged to Cassandra, but flirting with everyone else, including her mom, Bella. You dirty, dirty boy. I called Andrew Don Lothario at one point. I don't remember what he was doing.
Did he get the reference?
No, I think I need to break up with him. I was like, okay, Don Lothario.
Divorce reason. He didn't know my Sims reference.
My Sims reference. He's like, I'm sorry, what did you just call me? Anyway, I digress. Some fans think that he was working with the Calientes to lure Bella away. And in Sims 3, he shows up as a younger version of himself in Sunset Valley, which is a prequel. And we see how his drama got started. I didn't realize Sims 3 was a prequel, but I guess it's because I didn't play that. But that's kind of cool.
The timeline kind of jumps around and you meet like all these different ones. Yeah.
I like that. A fun fact about Don. His bio says he's, quote, afraid of commitment, but can't resist a pretty face.
Same, Don. So, Donnie and I have that in common.
They say, so he's just your average, like, Arizona State student. Got it. Perfect.
Went to the ASU of Sim City.
Go Devils. Oh, there is also a Sims University pack, but I haven't downloaded it.
I played that. I think I played it in Sims 3. Fun. Okay. I was like in middle school though, and
you're like,
should not have been playing
college.
That. Yeah, I think that Sims 3 was, maybe it was Sims 2, but Sims 3 I think is when you got the heart bed that could vibrate.
Oh, Sims 1 I think we had the heart bed too, because I remember Stephanie and I used to play. God, we would have sleepovers where we would just sit in whoever's parents' house we were at in their computer room and play The Sims for hours. And we would always make the kid in school that we had a crush on, because we had a crush on the same boy. And he'd be so hot and shirtless, and we would get in the vibrating bed with him.
I love that. Together?
No, only one at a time. Although we did download Hot Date, and maybe it was Sims 2 now that I think about it, because I'm not sure if all these expansions packs were with Sims 1. I don't know.
Yeah.
Somebody let us know in the comments. But I was like, oh, Stephanie and Shauna need to go and like have a girls' day. So they went on a hot date, and then it ended up like falling in love at the end. And we were like, no, restart, because we were children and therefore, oh no.
Shauna hadn't realized she was a bisexual then.
I wasn't. Maybe that was my awakening. Maybe I was like,
yeah, I
kind of like them. Maybe I want to go on more hot dates with some ladies. Anyway, we have a couple more families.
Yes. And then we have the Pleasant family, who are most known for their absolute suburban despair. And so the members of this family are Daniel, who's the dad, Mary Sue, the mother, Angela, the twin daughter, and Lilith, the twin daughter. They were probably the least fun to play with, mainly because they were poor. I remember playing with them, and I would always use... They were poors, which in The Sims, that's no fun. You don't want to be poor in The Sims. We're already poor in real life.
Oh my God. I always make my characters start poor. I like the rags to riches challenge where they start with 0 and they have to like forage off of the land. And then eventually, yeah, and they get a job with their phone. And then I have them shower at the gym and sleep in the library. And the challenge is to get from $0 to $1 million. Just scraping by with your bootstraps. They always end up dealing drugs. I make them all drug dealers. Every single one.
Literally rosebud cheat the second I get in there because I want to be like playing and building and like making the space my own. And all of the cheap furniture is ugly. They do that on purpose, but
uncomfortable. And then all your Sims complain that their backs hurt or that their shower wasn't nice. And you're like, bro, you just ate like an apple that you picked from the backyard as your lunch. You're going to sleep in whatever bed we can afford.
Yeah, and despite being poors, they are kind of the suburban, middle-class, happy family. But there is a lot of tea going on within that family. So Daniel is cheating with the maid. Mary Sue is a workaholic, but she's about to get fired. Angela is the golden child. She's dating Dustin Brooke. And Lilith is the rebel, hated by her family, and possibly secretly in love with Angela's boyfriend. So we get a little fun.
I have a question here. Oh, never mind. We're Pleasant. Okay.
Yeah, the Pleasant family.
That Pleasant, not the Brokes. They're probably also poors. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I would assume that the Broke family are poor.
I may be mashing the two together, but in my mind, okay. But... you know, whatever. Behind the white picket fence family so the theme of them is like behind the white picket fence. This family is like straight desperate housewives energy.
Love that.
It's a little fun with the teenagers kind of fighting over a man. It's kind of like the younger version of the Caliente sisters with Bella and the Goth family.
I love that. You never know what lurks behind your neighbor's front door. My neighbors do because I'm naked in front of the window a lot.
I'm definitely the naked neighbor.
Oh, I'm absolutely the naked neighbor.
Somehow, Shauna has been the naked neighbor at my house, and I've lived here for 3 months. This woman was just walking around butt naked in front of these giant bay windows. I lived here for...
I so forgot. But yeah, your front neighbors and your back neighbors have both seen me completely nude. Like,
yeah,
totally
not a
nude.
lick of clothing on.
Not a lick of clothing. Because why would I wear clothing at my friend's house? It's my birthday. I'm going to be naked. Anyway.
It's my birthday. I need to be in my birthday suit.
I need to be in my birthday suit. I need to party the way that I came into this world. Nude and drunk. Anyway, the Broke family is next. Brandy Broke, Dustin Broke, and the unborn baby Broke. Brandy is widowed. Her husband, Skip Broke, died under mysterious circumstances. Some say it is that ever-dreaded pool ladder removal. They have this fun little Easter egg in The Sims now where your Sim will wake up from a bad dream and it'll say what their dream was. And they're like, Shauna dreamt about drowning inside of a pool that had no ladder. That's crazy. Why didn't she just hop off the side? They're self-aware and we love it. Okay, so Brandy is widowed, pregnant, broke, trying to raise 2 kids alone. Dustin's in trouble with the law. Some fans think that Skip Broke didn't die but faked his own death because, you know, he's running away from someone or something. Maybe the the responsibilities of fatherhood or aliens. It's one or the other.
He's running away from that broke ass baby.
That unborn broke baby. No one wants a broke ass baby. Shit, my baby needs to get rich.
And we mentioned Strangetown. I did want to kind of go into a little bit further of the characters that we see within that. It's kind of known as the X-Files of The Sims. And so we have Bella Goth, which we've mentioned a lot, the nervous subject, the beakers, the grunts, and of course our elusive aliens. So this neighborhood is filled with a bunch of weirdos. There's government experiments that went wrong, alien abductions, and even hybrid babies. So Nervous Subject is literally being experimented on by the Beaker family. The Grunt family is a military unit fighting alien influence, but even their son gets abducted and impregnated.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ. This is getting dark.
And like we mentioned, Bella is there, but she can't remember anything. So Strangetown is very fun.
And that's only in Sims 2?
Yeah, Sully would love to go there.
The truth is in Strangetown. So the land grab family, as their name may imply, are greedy, powerful, and possibly evil. So the members are Malcolm Landgrab, Nancy, Jeffrey, and baby Malcolm Jr. in some of the games. So think ultra-rich, ultra-violent. I almost said ultraviolet. Isn't that a Lana Del Rey record?
Yeah.
They are not Lana Del Rey. They are Trump. The Trump family mixed with Bond villains. Nancy is a criminal, Jeffrey is in politics, and Malcolm's just kind of a spoiled brat. In Sims 4, they own most of the town. So whenever you pay your bills, like the electric bill, it goes to the Land Grab Electric Company, and they can shut off your power. And I've always noticed it says, you have 24 hours to pay your bill before your electricity shut off. And then it's like, immediately right then. They're like, just kidding. Shut down. Shut down. But yes, in my game, I kind of turned the land grabs into that aristocrats joke.
Oh, you made them incest?
Yeah, I made them a little like White Lotus season 3, the brother action going on.
I love that.
So they're all just high out of their minds and just doing unpleasant things with each other, and then they all die.
Doing their family members, yeah.
They're all doing each other, and then they die. Yeah, so they're all dead.
As they should.
They're all dead in some incest orgy, drug-fueled evening. But yeah, Malcolm Landgrab, his evil ghost floats around still.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, eat the rich
Yeah.
in Shauna's game, and I completely
They all ate
agree
each
with
other a little too literally. It was very violent.
And so as we've kind of gone through this, you're probably like, wait, what's the order of the games? It's almost like the Marvel universe. Like this one goes here. They are not, Sims 1 does not happen first, all those things, right? So Sims 3 is technically a prequel. So like we mentioned, you see younger versions of characters, including a teen Bella, a young Mortimer, and an early Don Lothario.
Ooh, sexy.
Sims 2 is in the middle where a lot of the drama happens when they first become, adults. And ultimately, we get to see a lot of the key lore that we've been discussing throughout this. Sims 4 is technically an alternate universe.
I did not know that. That's interesting.
And the game creator, Maxis, said that it's a parallel timeline. So events don't match up in the same way. So ultimately, like a multiverse, which is
definitely Marvel.
Yeah, right. And there's no official chronological order that makes 100% sense. They were having a silly, goofy time when they were making up these things. And that's part of the fun. It's like a glitchy multiverse. And really, The Sims has so much lore. Like a lot of us do just play our own characters, but I would encourage you to play around with the families. There's a lot of fun. You can find things like Strangetown when you do that, and ultimately kind of play your own characters and theirs as well, because there's quite a bit of fun.
I like that. And I think I'm going to start doing that because I always just kind of play with my own.
All right. So we've talked a lot about the lore. Shauna, let's tell the listeners how you like to play The Sims, and they can call you a psychopath as well.
Well, I already said that I made the entire land grab family incestuous homicide.
Also known as murderers.
Homicidal maniac was where I was going with my mind.
Okay.
So they're all disgusting. For the most part, though, I have Shauna and Andrew, and they live in this huge mansion, and they have Buffy and Toast, and they are ripped out of their minds and wealthy and maxed out on all of their skills. So I stopped playing them as much, even though they still exist in the town.
Was that after I told you were insane for only playing you and your husband?
So I have, in The Sims, Shauna and Andrew are always just with each other. They don't play around, no. But they have friends who are the entire cast of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I have all of Sex and the City in there. I have the Addams Family. I have Elvira. I have Olivia. So there's a cute little Olivia. Oh, she lives with Lady Gaga and my friends Heather and Jessica. So I've made a lot of the people that I know. So I and then I make randoms too. If I'm just like, oh, I want to play the doctor career, then I'll just make up like a random person and play the doctor career. I never find myself playing as men unless if I'm playing as Andrew or if I'm playing as like Spike in the Buffy house. Okay. But if I'm just like, oh, I'm going to play the rags to riches, I'm going to make a girl.
Okay.
Obviously.
Gender fluid king, Spike.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I definitely play some Spike, and he is with Buffy, but he also he gets around because who doesn't want to hook up with Spike? I should make him and Olivia hook up. I think that'd be good for you.
The fact that you haven't, rude.
I know. I'm sorry. You just hooked up with that guy in the bar. Oh, and then I made the bar that I worked at. This is what Olivia thinks I'm psycho for. So when I worked at a bar, how I met Olivia, I made the bar in the Sims game. And Shauna and Olivia would just go to the bar together and hang out, which is essentially what you and I were doing.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, I'm going to go home and play The Sims. And then I would just make The Sims do what we just did.
It's so crazy. Like, okay, so she's making it sound like she plays this game so much more diversely than she does. She may actually have these people that she plays sometimes. But so Shauna and I are talking about The Sims, and she's like, I asked a question. So how do you play The Sims? I love asking people this because I think it's like really illuminating. Like, how do you play The Sims? Do you play yourself? Do you play other characters and create other characters, or are you just like, I don't even want to play the characters, I just want to like interior design and build houses?
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
And Shauna's like, oh, I play myself, and like Andrew and I are the only two people together, and I made the casual pint, and she like has her life and does the exact same things.
I have our cat and our dog. I mean, they have better jobs than we have.
Yeah, but you still didn't even give them Rosebud, is the crazy thing. Like
they had to work for their money.
Insane, like crazy. And so if you can't tell by my reaction to this, I am almost always playing other people. I like to play some of the stock characters, but a lot of the time I like to build like a super hot person.
You never make an Olivia?
I've made an Olivia. Like when I was younger, I would make up like older versions of me, but I don't really ever play me as an adult.
Interesting. I've sent you the Olivia that I made, and I'm really proud of her. I think she's my friend character that I've made that looks the most like one of my friends.
Yeah, no, post it on the Instagram. That's great.
Yeah, I was like, I need to post me and you hanging out on The Sims on our Instagram so people can agree or disagree if it looks like us.
Yeah, how much does this look like us? Yeah.
Yes.
And one time I was like, Shauna, you need to be manifesting me hooking up with a man or finding a man in The Sims. Yes. And so she goes, okay, I'm going to do that. Makes me hook up with this guy in the casual pint bathroom, the bar that we hang out with.
In the men's room.
In the men's room with a man with a blue mohawk.
It was a green mohawk.
Okay. Very important distinction.
So Olivia, hooked up with a guy with a green mohawk in the men's room of the bar. And so I sent her like a picture of it in my phone on Snapchat. And I was like, look, I got you a male suitor on The Sims, just like you asked. And she's like, that's disgusting. Never do that again. Or at least make it.
I think you also
take me on a date.
Pregnant.
He did. He got you pregnant, and I also have an abortion mod.
So don't let Shauna do manifesting for you, especially in The Sims, because she's going to go really weird with it, unless it's her own character. She's like evilly sabotaging me via her Sims play.
Oh no, Sim Shauna has gotten like 15 abortions.
Well, only one off from regular Shauna, you know?
That's true. I'm at 14 now. God, we're going off the rails here. So we both play in different ways, but also kind of similar ways.
Yes.
I like it.
I think it's funny. What's your design aesthetic within The Sims?
Oh, it varies so drastically from person to person. So I made all of the Sex and the City girls live together, and each of their rooms is very like distinct to them. Oh, I made the Spice Girls too, and they live in this huge mansion. And so each room I had fun like customizing, like scary, sporty, posh, baby ginger. Shauna and Andrew's is very like mid-century modern in the desert, which is also like our house. I know.
Every time you tell me more about this character, like these characters, I'm like, what are you doing?
It's
Dream
just me,
big.
but upgraded. It's me, but upgraded, baby. A little upgraded.
You're still in the desert.
She's got a 6-pack. She's shredded out of her mind. Her husband's a professional athlete.
Crazy.
Listen.
Crazy person.
But yeah, other people's houses, I have like one boho chic house. I made Bulma and Vegeta from Dragon Ball, and so I made like the lab that they live and work and train at in there. So it really is. It depends on the character, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. What about you?
Okay, I think that's probably like the one place that I really play in the way that I would like it. Like, what would be like a dream home? Like, if you went into my Pinterest board of all these like crazy different homes that I could absolutely never afford, like that's what I'm making in The Sims. But a lot of it's like very colorful, very ornate, I guess. But that's why I always need to do the Rosebud cheat just straight out the gate, because I've got the most expensive furniture. I'm customizing things.
They're comfortable. Oh my God. We have like a sauna and a home gym, like everything that you could imagine that you want in your house. I love that.
Yeah. And I think if there's one common thread among, I've asked a ton of people this question of how do you play The Sims? Do you play yourself? What do you do within it? And if there is one common thread, everyone is murdering people in The Sims.
Oh, if you're not murdering people, are you even playing The Sims?
Exactly. And so I'm like, what does that say about us? Like, the second we get these little controllable characters, we want to just start murdering people. And I think that really gives me like Old Testament God.
Yeah. And they become like self-aware in Sims 4, though. There's this recent update, at least in the last 2 years, where they go, like, it'll say, Olivia can't help shake the feeling that there's some overarching power that's controlling her every whim. Will she ever be in control? And they get like really anxious. And every time that pops up, I'm like, no, you won't be.
That's so funny. Yeah, like the more simulation theory becomes real.
Oh my God.
The game's
simulation. My mind is blown.
And, you know, there's so much great things about The Sims. And I think really that is why The Sims has stuck around for so long, is really we've seen it evolve and iterate, and the way that people play with it. There's, you know, expansion packs, there's modifications where, you know, we're crowdsourcing The Sims development ultimately. And there's just so much fun.
Right, and they listen to the fans. They just brought back the robber who wasn't in Sims 4, but everyone remembers that robber from like the first games where that creepy music comes on, and they like you get so scared. Oh, I haven't played in it's been at least 2 months now, so I need to get back on and get my house robbed.
Computer. The computer that I play The Sims on is literally my college computer.
Oh no, that thing's running. That thing's hot.
it literally, it makes so much noise. I'm like, is this thing gonna blow up?
Probably. Especially if you download too many mods, then it's just like, and it goes so slow. Yeah.
The mods definitely broke it. So I need a new computer. I keep debating, like, do I buy a new computer just so I can play The Sims? But probably.
I think so. And record this podcast. But what else do you need it for?
Yeah. And so The Sims 5 was in development for a very long time. They were teasing it. They were telling us that The Sims 5 is coming. As of a couple months ago, they actually canceled the release of Sims 5. And they're actually doing, let me actually get the proper name because I was sending it. So it's called Project. I was calling it Reen, but RENE is
it could be either way. Reen or Renee.
Reen, Renee, whatever. So they canceled The Sims 5 and they're doing Project Reen, Renee. Right now, they have a small group of testers. So people have actually seen what it looks like within the project test group.
Jealous.
I saw some screenshots within it. And ultimately, the Sims games makers, EA, said that because so many people have bought all of these expansion packs within The Sims 4, if they went to Sims 5, people would lose all that. They would really kind of disenfranchise all those people who have been their most loyal customers.
All of those storylines.
Kept that game so popular over time.
A lot of people play legacy games too, where it's like, where I said I don't have my character's age. They'll have two people who grow up together, have babies, and then they die, and then you know what I mean? Like, it's like bloodlines that carry on throughout the game. So I could see that being really frustrating for them, losing all of that.
They ultimately ditched Sims 5, and now they are making, it seems like we don't know too much, but Project Reen ultimately is a somewhat of an expansion pack, but they have said that it will give you multiplayer versions, so you can actually, Shauna and I can meet up, our characters can meet up.
And get a drink at the casual pint?
No.
And have relations with a green mohawk man?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to make you have relations with a green mohawk man so you can see what it's like.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Twist my arm.
Ugh, I guess. Yeah. And so if you had one wish for the game makers of The Sims, I've been listening to too much Hunger Games, the game makers of The Sims, what would you ask for? Like, if you could say, I want to be able to do this in The Sims, like, what would it be?
I think exactly what you just said. Multiplayer Sims, like an open world multiplayer, would be insane. Like a RPG where we're all just hanging out together and going store to store. Like Shauna and Olivia start at the bar and then they're taking shots together and then they go shopping and then they go eat food. You're like, that would be amazing. Just like, I don't know, open player, multiplayer kind of world, open world multiplayer.
Yeah, I would say I just asked one thing, but since you're asking for my one thing, I completely agree. I want to be able to go to your town and sabotage your town, even if you're not online. I think that'd be so fun.
That's messed up.
I really want to be able to, mess with other people's towns and go there and do things. Kind of, I guess in Animal Crossings, you can't go mess with people's towns unless they're online, but I do like that version of it. But then I also want them to make the mods into real games where it's
so that
not
it doesn't
glitchy.
Break. Yeah, so it doesn't break your thing. And you know what? I agree. They already know that most adults are downloading Wicked Whims, right? And so make it an 18 plus pack or something somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
Video games still do that, don't they? Yeah, and make us buy it,
right?
Because we'll buy it.
We have Grand Theft Auto. Let's get GTA and Sims to have a baby. I think that'd be so fun. But I really like the idea of those two things, and hopefully we will see some of that with the Sims universe. While Shauna and I could go on for hours and hours talking about The Sims, if you can't tell, it's one of our passions. We have spent hours talking about this even outside of this podcast episode. But one thing that was announced shortly after the Barbie movie, which if you've never listened to our Barbie episode, it's one of our most popular episodes of all time.
Yes, we love the Barbie movie.
We go really, really deep into the movie, the Barbie universe as a whole, things around that. And it's just a great listen, if I do say so myself. But as soon as
you say so too yourself.
Yeah. Myself, you too's. Yes.
Myself, you too say so's.
And one of the things that was announced right after the Barbie movie was that there was a Sims movie in the works, and Lucky Chap Entertainment was the one who secured the rights. Now, if you're thinking, Lucky Chap, that sounds super familiar, our one and only, our queen, Margot Robbie, got her hands on the Sims movie. I want to hear your thoughts on the Sims movie. We obviously just spent a lot of time on it, but really quickly, Amazon MGM Studios is involved in the production. Katie Heron, who directed Loki.
Katie Heron?
It's Kate.
From Mean Girls?
Kate Heron, who directed Loki, the TV series, which you're a big fan of.
I am.
Is going to co-write the screenplay with Brianni Redman. And so it is kind of interesting because from what I know about Loki, it's a multiverse, right?
It is. I'm thinking the only thing, first of all, I'm sus of this, right?
Really?
I am, but having it involved with Margot Robbie makes me feel more confident about it because I do like her work. I think she's very talented. Barbie was amazing. So that makes me feel a little better about it. I do also hope that it doesn't fall into this trap of like the Emoji Movie and, oh gosh, Angry Birds movie and like every, you know what I'm trying to say? Like every little video game and every little thing needs a movie now. Minecraft movie. And then they're always just trash money grabs. But then, you know, Barfy, the Barfy movie. It's going to be the sequel. The Barbie movie. I think I was mixing Buffy and Barbie. So it came out Barfy.
It's okay. We know.
Barbie was good. It was based off of a toy, and it was very good. The Ouija board movies have been good, but then they're making, I don't know, there's some other, and the Lego movies have been good. I don't know. It could be very hit and miss with me when it comes to turning a toy or a video game or something like that into a movie. Do you know what I mean? So
yes.
I'm nervous, but I'm going to watch it. And I think the only way that they could go with it is doing all of the stuff that we talked about this whole episode, all of the lore.
Yes. So I think it could go a few ways. I think that it could be all about simulation theory. And
like what I said, like, what if we're just people and like we're the Sims and God is playing us?
Yes, ultimately, like that is such a common theory and belief now. Like when The Matrix came out, that was a crazy idea. But then now you look at kind of like where we are today and being in a simulation. Like people
like
are
the
just
Truman
much more,
Show.
Yes, much more open to that kind of thought and thinking. And so I think that it could be that. I also see it really living within the Sims lore that we discussed earlier as well. And then just like crazy, funny, wild. Like
it's got to be funny for sure. We have to have Don Lothario. We have to have Bella Goth and aliens. It's got to be goofy.
Yeah, and it's like we're going to have a ladder taken out. You know, there's going to be like a lot of fan service. But I think that up until very recently, like video games turned into shows or movies has not really gone well. Like up until, I mean, there are some good ones. I think The Last of Us, which comes out in a couple weeks. I'm super excited about that.
It's usually with like first person shooters though. So it's like Tomb Raider, Max Payne, The Last of Us. There have been a lot of them, but they haven't really been these like open world kind of games.
But
like
I would say
Sims.
People like hated some of those as well. Like The Last of Us was widely received and people loved it, but a lot of fans of The Last of Us were like so afraid of it being turned into a TV show.
For sure. I was afraid too. I'm afraid for season 2 to come out, especially if you know what goes down.
I don't.
Oh my God, I will not spoil it. I will not spoil it. But but then like the Borderlands movie crashed and burned.
Yeah.
But again, that's like a first person shooter. So I'm interested and I'm I'm hesitant, but I think it's in good hands. It's in good hands.
Yeah, I ultimately think that Margot Robbie would not stake her reputation straight out of Barbie if she didn't believe that she could create a great movie with, Kate Herron and Brianna Redmond. I think there's so much we just talked about a few families within that. We didn't even focus on one game, right? And there's all these different things. And it could be I moved into this one. It could even be moving through the games the way we played them.
Yeah, there's a whole haunted one. There's ghosts. You can summon the dead. Yeah, there's so many things that they could do.
I do, my biggest hope is simulation theory, because I think that would be a really crazy, psychological thriller almost.
Oh my God, what if it's a psychological thriller? I would love that too. It's not a comedy, it's just a straight up mind fuck. Just, oh my God, is any of this real? I love that.
Yeah, right? I think there's so much stuff that could ultimately happen within that movie. So when I was, doing the research for this episode and building everything out, I feel like I was kind of like you, where I was that could be really, really bad. But really going through the history of the game itself and all that lore within it, I think that, it can be really, really cool.
Yeah.
And we have our trust in Margot Robbie.
We do. I think we're going to watch it no matter what. But we'll just have to wait and see, I suppose.
Absolutely. We're going to get little green orbs above our head and dress up for
plebums
as well. Plebums.
Plebums.
Yeah. We're going to be talking Sims all over.
I feel like I always... Boat and Gravy? Oh, yibs. So
oh my God, I feel like there are a bunch of famous artists, I wish I would have pulled this, that have done songs for the Sims.
I do know Katy Perry re-recorded Last Friday Night, but in Simlish, and so it's just a bunch of just gibberish, and that is so funny. So if you turn on the radio in The Sims, for people who don't know, you can turn it to different genre stations, and sometimes if you turn it to the pop station, you'll go, wait, I know this song, but it is in the Sim language. Simlish.
Yep. So some of them are Last Friday Night by Katy Perry, Pocket Full of Sunshine, Don't Ya by the Pussycat Dolls, Smile, Shut Up by the Black Eyed Peas, Na Na Na, Pressure, Need You More Than Alive. So there's some really funny ones.
My Chemical Romance did it. Yeah, I love that. I respect artists who can have fun like that.
There's some really great Easter eggs within that. And The Sims is an iconic game. We love it. And, unfortunately, it is time to go back to our real life now. We can't stay in SimCity. I know.
I want to stay.
SimCity is kind of your real life, you freaking weirdo. But Shauna, what's the best way for people, virtual or otherwise, to find you?
You can find me, Shauna Trinidad, on Instagram and Threads at Shauna Trinidad, ShaunaTrinidad.
And you can find me, Olivia, on Instagram at Livie Mariez, Livimariez. And as always, you can find the Pop Culture Junkie podcast social media links, blog posts, and more on our website, popculturejunkie.com. From there, you can find our podcast on all platforms, and you can follow, subscribe, rate, and review the show. Tell us how you feel about the episodes, how you play The Sims. We would love to hear it. Our DMs are always open. We love to chat with you guys and get to know you a little bit more. Hear some feedback on our lovely Sim play. Tell Shauna she's weird. And
McDonald's orgies are not weird.
Or maybe you say, stop bullying her, Olivia. I play The Sims in the same way. Doubtful, but one you can dream. But Also, like we mentioned at the top of the episode, we do have a Patreon, and ultimately reviews, rating us really, really helps us or joining the Patreon, whatever you can give. And it helps us bring you more of the best pop culture we can. You can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/popculturejunkiepodcast. Sign up for a sneak peek or get a super special shout out from us. Say that 5 times fast.
Super special shout out from us.
Super special shout out from
Super special shout out from us.
Yeah, see, I'm speaking Simlish. I'm speaking Simlish already. And come back next time for another hit of pop culture.
The Pop Culture Junkie podcast is produced by Jeff Markin and Cheryl Lightfoot for the Pop Culture Entertainment Network.
So